What's up guys, it's Lord Both here with another video, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like the reveal for Blood of the Dawnwalker. I thought it was a whole bunch of cinematic trailer and a bunch of devs just walking around talking to each other about what they plan on tucking into the game. Also followed by weird violin conciertos and things like that. And then at the very end they gave us about 3 seconds of gameplay. So yeah, it wasn't a favorite of mine. That said, I'm really liking what Rebel Wolves is actually saying about the game. This comes to us from Games Radar. XCDPR devs' new open world vampire RPG is aiming for, quote, the quality level of The Witcher 3, but since it's a smaller studio, only about a 30 to 40 hour campaign. The Blood of the Dawnwalker creative director, Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz, isn't too concerned whether you call the upcoming vampire RPG AA, AAA, or even the famous Quadruple A. He just wants it to be the same level of quality as The Witcher 3, which he worked on as lead quest designer. He's quoted as saying, in terms of quality, we definitely look at AAA because this is where we are coming from, the quality of The Witcher 3. Definitely our games are not as huge in terms of amount of content and gameplay hours. We are a smaller studio. This is our first project, so we definitely are building something smaller. But we want to build something as robust in terms of quality and maybe a bit shorter. Comparing something to a behemoth like The Witcher, which we aimed for 100 plus hours, but I think a lot of people played 200, 300 hours, is insane. If size is your measure, then yes, it's not the size of a AAA like The Witcher. But I don't know if size is the measure. To be honest, because there are AAA games like Call of Duty that aren't 100 plus hour gameplay campaigns, and I don't know if anyone would call them AA or indie. I don't think they would call them indie at all, seeing that Activision Blizzard is quite directly owned by Microsoft. The article also states, regardless of its budget, Blood of the Dawnwalker is a highly ambitious open-world dark fantasy RPG with a unique time as a resource approach to its story and a narrative sandbox all about maximizing players' agency and freedom of choice. Now, quite honestly, I like pretty much everything I heard there. First off, who cares what people label your game as? AA, AAA, Quadruple A, it doesn't matter. Skull and Bones was labeled the first Quadruple A game by its own developer, Ubisoft, and we see how that's turned out for them. It's a monumental, massive failure, and nobody is playing it. They can't crack like 200 players. Secondly, I think having a very tight, compact story and tight, compact gameplay that's only 30, 40 hours long is the best way to do it. Yes, that's right. Make games small again. I am tired of playing these massive open world RPG or action adventure games that have these gigantic worlds that have nothing in them, or they're just littered with a whole bunch of meaningless crap that are just either collectibles or things to tie me down that don't actually do anything for me. I'm of the opinion that if you're going to make an open world game, it should be open world like KOTOR was open world. Yes, it's open world and there's multiple paths to get to places, but it definitely had a distinct more enclosure to it. You couldn't just run everywhere. And that compactness, that's a word, right? Anyway, it gave the developers more freedom to take with the story, enriching characters, enriching storylines, and the devs didn't have to feel rushed on things that are actually way more important to the game being interesting, like mechanics and story. And if you don't think this is successful, I would point to not even Call of Duty. I would point to something like Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2's campaign is really short, but it's sold like gangbusters. And it's hailed as a really good game, with people going back to play the story, or at least parts of the story, over and over. And maybe this is just me speaking from my personal view, but hey, that's what this channel is all about, right? I'm a dad. And I have life. I'm busy. I got work. I got other things to do. Creating a gigantic, massive, open world filled with a bunch of BS that I'm never going to get to is pretty much meaningless to me. And a lot of gamers are grown people with jobs and life and children. And they don't have 300 hours to toss away going through these massive open worlds. Sometimes, yes, you want to play a small, compacted game as a grown adult that has really good characters, really good story, and really, really fine mechanics. And that's it. This is kind of in my live service argument as well. Not everything has to be live service, and not everything has to be massive open worlds. Now, does this approach mean that this game, Blood of the Dawnwalker, is automatically going to be good? No, but it's a really, really good philosophy to take when making a game. One that will probably make your game really popular if it is written really well and the mechanics are very good, because it's a philosophy that most major studios are not adapting at this time. We heard it just these past few weeks. Both Yves Guillemot stating that he's going to reinvest in live service as the future of Ubisoft, and that idiot Andrew Wilson, who took away the lessons of the failure of Dragon Age Veilguard as, maybe people, they want more live service games. We need to give them that. Instead of doing what BioWare used to do well, which is this very philosophy. But anyway, I hope the game is good. I hope it sticks to this philosophy. And I hope it all pays off for them. Because these guys did work on Witcher 3, and it was the rare instance where they did have a fairly large, expansive open world that was also written very, very well. And the mechanics were at least serviceable. So yeah, I'm holding out hope for this game and this studio. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it, and we'll talk to you again later.